Eric, the reason why I brought you here today is that I wanted to tell you a little bit more about my ministry. As you know, in August 2012, I received a vision from the Lord that Taiwan was the heart of Asia, and that God was calling my wife and I to go to Asia and not only minister in Taiwan, but all of Asia. The Lord has just really put some fire on this thing in my life just within the last week or so, in that I got a call from somebody who explained to me that my life, that this heartache that I've had in my life for years and years and years, since 1972, it could very well be dealt with by the Lord. And here it's all around Malachi 4, 5, and 6, where it says that He will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers. I knew we were called to be mothers and fathers, but I never realized this connection. You see, back in 1972, I was a serviceman, and I was in Vietnam. I was one of the last 2,500 GIs to actually leave Vietnam. And at that time, I was living in the world, and I was, at that time, I was living with a woman who I had promised that I would bring her back to the United States. And I later found out that she had my child. And then when the war ended, everything, I lost communication with her, I lost hope, and while I was here in the States, people said, oh, just you don't want to have anything to do with her, she just really not even having your child, it's just all made up. But there was something pulling at my heart. I mean, my first tour to Vietnam was in 1971 to 72, because I did 2 tours. And in the first tour, I was a young guy, fell in love, first tour, with this educated, Saigon girl. And I decided that at the end of that tour that I was going to go back and marry her. This is before what I had already told you took place. So I go back to Vietnam. I finagle everything to go back there. And when I get there, when I step off the bus to go to my first assignment in MACV headquarters in Saigon, I see this friend of mine coming up to me. And he looks at me and goes, Jerry Quinn, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I came here to get Lon. And he says, he turned like white as a ghost, and he goes, oh. I said, well, what's wrong? And he goes, well, I just married her, and I'm going back to the States. I said, what? So we had this big conversation, and we went over to the house, and I was angry and I was hurt, but I knew there wasn't anything I could do about it. All I know is I was staring at a whole nother year in Vietnam now, because I chased after marrying somebody. So there I am. I head out down the street. I got my uniform on. I'm gonna go get drunk. All honesty, I was heathen. I was gonna let everything just go away in my life. So heading down the street, this woman comes running out of a bar and she grabs my hat. And she says to me, she looks at me and she has my hat. And I said, well, give me my hat back. And she goes, no. She goes, you're number 1 GI. I tell you, you're a good man. I need to talk to you. I said, just give me my hat back or I call MP. She goes, no. I come inside, I buy you drink. I said, no. You don't buy GI drink. I buy you drink. You take my money. I went in and got the drink and inside, and she bought me the drink. I was stunned. And in the process of time, she kept telling me about what a good person I was. So to make a long story short, in the morning, I asked her, I said, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? She said, well, my mother sold me for a debt to Mama-san. And I just something hit me. And I said, do you know how much it is? And she goes, no. I said, why don't you find out? So I found out. She told me how much it was. I paid for her to go. And I said, okay, you're free now. And she goes, no, I stay with you. And so we ended up staying together and having a relationship. So for the next 8 months, I had this relationship, and then the war ends. And when the North took over the South, I lost all communication with her. So a week and a half ago, after many years of trying to make some connection for this child that I have that's over there, this Amerasian man who's 40 years old now, that I've let go of things. I gave up so many times. I'm married. I've been married, happily married 38 years. I get this call. And the guy says, because he's been helping soldiers for 20 years. His name's Brian Hort. He's actually a Danish furniture painter. And 20 years ago, he went backpacking. And he just got tied with the marriage and heart of the children, the women, and the men that are like 40 years old now, and they don't even know who their parents are. And in North Vietnam, or when they took over, they called them children of dust. They told them that they are the enemy's children. They can't even have citizenship in their own country. So anyway, he says, I told your story to the BBC. And a lady by the name of Sue Lloyd Roberts, who happens to be an award-winning documentary journalist, she wants to to film your search. And so I got off the phone. I said, yeah, all right. I got off, and I talked to my wife about it. I said, I don't know if I'm supposed to go. You know, I don't have everything. But the bottom line is this: I got to give it to the Lord. So the first person I told my story to said, here, and they gave me money for the plane ticket from Taiwan to Vietnam. And this is all happening in January between the 7th and the 12th. And so I just knew it was the Lord. And as I prayed about it, Malachi 4, 5, and 6 started becoming more and more reality in my heart. But everybody has Malachi 4, 5, and 6. You know, we know the Lord's coming back, but He's turning my heart. And I believe He's telling me to pursue love. And even if I never find my son, even if he died or he never sees any of this, there's still every Amerasian child over there. And I believe this is like a prophetic act in my life, that God is indeed turning the hearts of the fathers to the children and the children to the fathers. And I believe He's shown me that after this journey with the BBC and everything else that's going on, that there's going to be an opportunity for the gospel to go into Vietnam. Not just finding the father and the child, but an opportunity for literally the gospel to go in a prophetic act. And that's what I believe is happening inside my heart now. I've looked into a few things, and I'll probably share more with you later on about it. But possibility of DNA testing, and that can actually hook up a child with a father. And I believe the Lord was speaking to me in 2014 that I hasn't put it all together, but that if we could raise 1,000 DNA tests, that we could literally start a movement, a Malachi 4, 5, and 6 movement, to not only touch Amerasian and fathers' hearts, but that could literally touch all of Asia. And so I'm asking you, I'll be asking you if you want to help me with this. Maybe you will want to be one of those people that partner with a DNA. And I'm going to be asking my friends if that's something that they feel the Lord is touching on their hearts.